Hello everyone, you got Drew here and one of our 1 million mile drivers, Bob. He's with our Schneider training and curriculum team, and we're here to talk to you about the top tools to keep in your truck, as you can see behind me. So what we're going to do is just going to kind of go over each tool to keep in your truck and kind of what those tools are needed for. So without further ado, I'm going to let Bob take over and kind of talk to you what these tools behind me are. So hold tight.
Hey everybody. Before we get into the tools, I want you to know that we don't expect you to be mechanics, but sometimes carrying some tools can really save you a lot of time. Having to call a repair, having to call SEM, waiting for them to show up, you could just kind of do some things yourself. The first thing I want to start with is the toolbox. And some of you are probably looking at that thing and saying, hey Bob, that ain't no toolbox, that's a fishing box, that's a tackle box. It is. The reason I like the tackle box is it's got a bunch of different compartments so I can put a bunch of different stuff in it. Nuts, bolts, washers, fuses, light bulbs, whatever. Plus it's also small. It's maybe 14 inches, and when I close it, maybe by 6 inches, 8 inches. And believe it or not, all this stuff out here will fit into there. Because as you know, room in the tractor is kind of at a premium. So if we got this toolbox that doesn't take up a lot of room, you know, it's not one of those big giant ones, that's good for you. Now, some of the tools, the common tools that are going to come in handy, crescent wrenches. Big fan of the crescent wrenches. They're strong enough to latch on to some things that are odd size. You can get into weird spots with them. They just come in real handy when one of your open-ender box or your dog won't work for you. So a couple of crescent wrenches will always come in handy. And then the 4 wrenches you're probably going to use the most are the 7/16, the half, 9/16, and the 5/8. These are open end and box. You got your open end and your box down here. Just come in handy for any number of things that come loose on a truck and trailer. One of my favorite tools is the dog. This happens to be a Craftsman Dog, and it's got various sizes to grab onto nuts and bolts, from big ones to small ones to everything in between. Real handy to get into areas that are awkward, really handy. And if you drop something, there's a magnet on it, it'll pick it up. I mean, it picked up this big vice grips pretty easily, so very, very handy tool. With this, you can almost cut back on either your open-end wrenches or your crescents, but I like to keep them anyway. But the dog, that's what this is called, by Craftsman, very good. Next is your classic vice grips. Vice grips, this is a bigger one. I also keep a smaller one. What I do with the vice grips is when I'm pulling the release arm for a trailer tandem, sometimes they don't want to stay fully released, sometimes they want to pop back in. I'll just put this on close to the frame rail, and that will hold that into place until I'm ready to go. So vice grip, always a good tool. I carry a wire cutter too. It's just your standard little wire cutter. Sometimes you got some of the wiring that runs under the frame of the trailer has been rubbing in and on things, and sometimes, okay, you got a bald spot. Now, I'll cut that, and then I got my electric tape. I'll cut that wire and I'll splice it back or wrap it, and then I'm good to get to a shop so they can check out my job. The next thing I've got here is my screwdriver. And this might look a little funky to you, but it's a ratcheting screwdriver. And I keep all my points in here. I've got my small Phillips, my big Phillips, I've got my straight edge, I've got my stars. The star bits are real handy when you're working with like headlights and things like that for adjustments and so forth. A 20-point star bit really will come in handy for you. And they just go right into my screwdriver, like so, and then again ratcheting, and I can change the direction here. So real handy little thing. My favorite tool of them all is right here. This is my 3-pound sledgehammer named Bertha. So what me and Bertha do is we will go and release fifth wheels that don't want to cooperate sometimes. We will go and we will check tires, you know, thump, 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 thump. I'm not going to be able to tell if the tire is flat just by thumping it. I won't know how much air is in it. But what I'm listening for is consistent sound. Thump, 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 thump. If they're all sounding the same, I'm pretty good with them. But if you've got a flat one and you hit it, you're really going to be able to hear that difference. So it'll help me to tell whether I've got a flat tire or not. And if it does sound weird, then I've got my air pressure gauge. I don't want you putting the air pressure gauge to every tire unless you think there's an issue. Because if 50 guys put their air pressure gauge to a single trailer tire over the course of 2 weeks, they're all going to be flat. So only use this in a case where, okay, one's really down, let's check it out. Flashlight. I carry 2. This is my small one that I go under the truck with when I'm checking to make sure the fifth wheel jaws have latched. As you can see, it's LED, it's very bright. This will even cut through the sunlight. So having this to check your coupling, your kingpin, highly important. I also carry a mag light that's about 18 inches long. Keep that in the door. With that mag light, that's what I use at night when I'm walking around trailers and parking lots or in spots I'm not real comfortable with. I'll take that mag light, I'll go back there, I'll do my inspections. Next thing on the list here is, well, it's used to free brakes that are frozen or stuck. This is just a solid piece of metal. You might call it a dowel. It's about a foot long, probably weighs 3-4 pounds. So if I got a frozen brake, and let's say brake shoes down here, now let's use this. This is the brake pad right here, and this is the metal web above it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take Bertha, I'm going to take my brake buster, put it on the metal. Do not put this on the brake pad itself, you'll break it. And I'm going to give it a couple of gentle persuading taps, and those brakes are going to release. Whenever you're working underneath a trailer, make sure you've got the trailer brakes pushed in, because you want those brakes to be able to release from the drum. Make sure you got the truck turned off, key in your pocket, and the tractor brake pulled out, tractor brake set so it doesn't roll away on you. Sometimes they'll be stuck due to being frozen or stuck just being due to being stuck. So this comes in real handy. Saves me a lot of time from having to call SEM. Safety glasses. If I'm fueling the truck, I'm not going to wear my safety glasses. I'm not. But if I'm down someplace hitting on something, I'm going to put my safety glasses on so I don't get any particles in the eye. I also carry gloves. 2 pair of gloves here. These are leather. I think they're deer leather, in fact. And you can see these are my oil checking gloves. These are my fueling gloves. I prefer leather. The oil doesn't go through them, but they're flexible, they're easy to use. I can grab onto the nozzles real good. I can check oil. I can check my tension on my belts. I can check everything that I'm looking for when I'm doing my fueling. I can still grab the stick to wash windows and clean mirrors. So I use leather. Everybody's different, but I prefer leather gloves when I'm fueling. These are the all-purpose gloves that I use for everything else. They're heavy-duty canvas. They're not going to be cut easily. They're not going to be penetrated easily, and they'll last you forever. So these are the tools that a lot of drivers will carry. A lot of drivers will also carry other tools. There's some that are more mechanically inclined than others. There are other drivers that may not carry any tools, and that's perfectly fine. Again, we're not expecting you to become a mechanic, not expecting that at all. But sometimes just making a basic repair for yourself can save you hours and hours waiting for SEM to come out or get somebody out there for you. So that's a look at some of the common tools. Drew, I think we got some time for some questions if there's any questions out there.
Okay, we have one from Douglas. He asked, do you keep mud flaps with you though?
Do I keep mud flaps? No, I do not. I do not keep extra mud flaps, 1, because they take up a lot of room, and 2, because in about 1.5 million miles, I never lost a mud flap, so it's not something that I would carry. If I did lose a mud flap, you could go to the next truck stop and get another one. You could go to the next truck repair and get another one. Or you could get onto the shoulder of the road well off, set out your triangles, call SEM and have them bring you one. So something like that, I don't carry extras of. Thanks, Doug.
Yep, it looks like that was kind of all the questions we had. Looks like everyone was just kind of watching and long. So with that, thank you for joining us and learning a little bit about the top tools to keep in your truck. And thank you to Bob, one of our million-mile drivers and part of the training team, to kind of keep all of our drivers educated. Remember, we have continuous training going on within Schneider, and he's part of that team that helps with it. So with that, thanks for joining us. And if you're interested in a driving job with Schneider, feel free to call 800-44-PRIDE or visit us on our website at schneiderjobs.com. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.